Like Forrest Gump said, life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. My name's Tom. I'm 43. I work as a credit analyst at a big bank branch outside Boston. And if you've ever pictured a typical mid-level bank guy, yeah, that's probably me. Gray suit that fits a little too tight in the shoulders, blue tie with tiny diamonds on it, a coffee mug that says "World's Okayest Banker." I bought it myself. My alarm goes off at 6:15 every morning. I usually wake up before it rings the second time. For the past couple of years, I haven't really slept. Not deeply. It's like I'm waiting for something. Problem is, I have no idea what. I live in a small house with a white fence that I repaint every 2 years because that's what my neighbors do. I've been divorced for 5 years. My daughter, Emily, lives in another state with her mom. I see her twice a year and we talk on the phone a lot. But between those calls, there's this silence that builds up like dust. You don't notice it until there's just too much of it. At work, I'm the numbers guy. Numbers don't betray you. They either add up or they don't. They don't look at you like you've disappointed them. They don't say, "Tom, you could have been more." My office doesn't have a window. On the wall, there's a framed certificate for commitment to financial ethics. Sometimes I stare at it and think ethics are great, until they run into real life. My midlife crisis didn't show up as a sports car or some woman in a red dress. It showed up as a question. Is this it? It started with a client named Sarah Miller. She walked into the bank on a rainy Thursday. Her umbrella was broken, her hair damp and curling around her temples. She wanted a small business loan to open a coffee shop in an old building near downtown.
"I know it's a risk,
She said, sitting across from me.
but if not now, when?"
I pulled up her financials. Income, unstable. Savings, modest. The idea, romantic. A coffee shop with bookshelves, live music on Fridays, and a free refill if you're reading an actual paper book. Statistically, the odds aren't great, I said, not meeting her eyes. Most small businesses don't make it past 3 years. She smiled.
"Statistics don't know me personally."
That made me look up. We talked for almost an hour. She told me about her office job she hated, about a dream she'd had since college, about how terrifying it is to walk away from stability. There was something in her voice. Something I hadn't heard in mine in a long time. Life! By the book, I should have denied her. Instead, I told her I'd explore some options. That evening, I didn't drive straight home. I sat in my car in the rain and wondered when I'd last done something that didn't fit neatly into a risk assessment spreadsheet. A week later, my branch manager, Mr. Harper, called me into his office.
"Tom,"
He said, steepling his fingers.
"you've always been our most conservative analyst. Lately, though, I'm seeing creative structuring.
He slid Sarah's file across the desk.
You honestly think this is a safe investment?"
No, I said. I think it's a justified risk. He sighed.
"We're a bank, not a venture capital firm."
I walked out of there feeling something strange, like I'd done something dangerous, and I kind of liked it. A month later, Sarah was back in my office. The loan was partially approved. I'd found a small business support program, restructured the funding into stages, adjusted the risk exposure.
"You did it."
She said quietly. We did, I replied, surprising myself. She invited me to the grand opening. I went. That night I stood among strangers, listening to someone play jazz on an old, upright piano, drinking coffee that smelled like cinnamon and new beginnings. Sarah was glowing. When she thanked me, she touched my hand.
"None of this would have happened without you."
I wanted to make a joke, but I couldn't. Because suddenly I realized something. Maybe without her, this version of me wouldn't exist either. The trouble came out of nowhere. One morning, internal audit flagged irregularities in several business loans. Not just Sarah's. 3 others had similar creative structuring. I was called downtown.
Did you manipulate financial data?
A compliance officer asked. I optimized loan structures within policy limits.
Within policy for whom?
That was the first time I felt real fear, not abstract, mortgage, alimony, health insurance. Then it got worse. One of the other businesses, an auto repair shop, had been using the loan as cover for a stolen parts operation. My signature was on the paperwork. I sat alone in my office staring at my hands. They were shaking. I'd wanted to do something good, to prove to myself I could still take risks. Maybe I'd open doors for more than just dreamers. I went to see Sarah late that evening. The shop was closing. "I'm in trouble," I told her. We sat by the window while I explained everything: the audit, the investigation, the shop.
Do you regret it?
She asked finally. I thought about it. I regret not digging deeper, but I don't regret stepping outside the lines. She smiled, but it was softer this time.
You know why I opened this place?
She said.
Because one day I realized the biggest risk is not changing anything.
That was the moment I knew I was falling for her. Not like a teenager, like a man who's been living at half volume for too long. The investigation lasted 3 weeks. No criminal charges. I'd stayed within procedure, barely. But I was offered a choice: voluntarily step down to a lower position or resign. I sat in my car outside the bank, staring at the building. There it was: stability, insurance, retirement plan, predictable Mondays. And then there was the other road: uncertainty, possibility, fear. That night, Sarah said,
I don't want you making a decision for me. I want you making it for you.
When I got home, I pulled out an old notebook. Back in college, I wanted to be a writer. I dreamed about novels, travel, a life too big for spreadsheets. I turned to a blank page and wrote, I'm 43. I don't know who I want to be, but I know who I don't want to be anymore. The next morning, I was literally at a crossroads, the light blinking yellow. Left, the bank. Right, the coffee shop. My phone buzzed. From Harper, need your decision by noon. From Sarah, fresh pastries and new music tonight. I looked at myself in the rearview mirror, tired eyes, but something else too. A spark. I could go back to the numbers, to clean boundaries, to a life that doesn't betray you, but doesn't inspire you either. Or I could take another risk. Maybe start something of my own. Maybe sit down with that notebook and write more than just the first line. The light turns green. I press the gas. And in that moment, even I don't know which way I'm turning.